Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? It's your boy Steven here, coming back at you with another video. Alright, so I was thinking, what should I make this video on? My 7-day editor challenge is over, so I was trying to come up with an idea. And then my boy Lewis commented on my channel saying I should do a video on how to tell a story. So how to tell a story. It's not an easy thing to talk about because there's a lot of intricacies that go in, and there's a lot of people who are gonna do it a lot better than I'm gonna do right now. But I'm gonna try my best. So one thing I've noticed through editing different clients' videos and my own over the past 30 days is that story is the solo one thing that makes a video good or bad. And audio. Good audio is really important too. It's like story and audio. But as long as the audio is adequate, story is the most important. So, how do you tell a good story? I find what a lot of people do, they tell the story in their head, like they already have the context in their head. So what a lot of people skip out on is putting context for the viewer. The most important thing to start a video with is telling people who, what, where, when, why, and how. If you set the setting like that, you can do it verbally through audio, you can do it visually through pointing the camera around and letting them see where you're at. There's a lot of different ways you can make the context, but you have to set the context in the start of the video in order for the rest of the story to make sense. From there, a lot of what I do in storytelling I've picked up from listening to really good storytellers. By the way, the best storytellers are always comedians. You find a good comedian, he is a good storyteller. Also, I have a theory that if you find a good mom and pop restaurant or shop downtown, anywhere, the owners are probably pretty good storytellers too. That's just a theory though. I have a theory that good entrepreneurs are usually good storytellers. They're hand in hand. But back to what I was saying. Once we have the context complete, we move on to the body of the story, the actual story itself. So we did the who, what, where, when, why, how, and then in the story we tell whatever the heck we're gonna talk about. The next part of storytelling that people mess up on a lot is not getting into the story themselves. Being monotone, not really have a lot going on, not being vested in what they're talking about. That's the second thing people mess up on in trying to communicate their story through video. In their head, they're not excited about it, so with their audience, they're not excited about it. So once you have the context, once you become vested and emotionally involved in your story, there's a bunch of different tools you can use to help pull the audience in. But the number one key thing you need to do is create emotion. If you can, through a camera, make someone feel something, feel happy, feel sad, feel angry, then you're a good storyteller. And if you're able to provide footage with some sort of meat to it, a good editor is gonna take it the rest of the way. But to finish off a good story, there's always a beginning, middle, and end. And just like any good date, a video and a story works the exact same way. You need to end your story on a high point. But wherever you feel the most amount of emotion, you need to end as fast as possible after that. So like think about it. If you take a girl out on a date, you have an amazing time, and then things start winding down, they start settling, and then you just start sitting there with nothing to talk about. That last hour is gonna ruin your chances at getting the second date. But if you take a girl out on a date, take her to dinner, take her to mini golf, take her to a movie, and then you're at a high point, you are laughing your ass off, you're having a good time, smiles, laughter all around, and then boom, I'm sorry, I gotta go, but maybe we can hang out next Tuesday. In that emotional high point, she's gonna say yes to the second date, and you secured the girl. Same thing works with the video. If at the point in your video you have your audience on the emotional high point of the story, and you cut it, your audience is gonna wanna come back for more. So with that, I have to go to work in the next 20 minutes, but that's 3 really, really good points to get a good story started. Provide really good context, get emotionally involved in your story, and cut the story off at the emotional high point. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one. Remember, peace, love, happiness always. Later. Isn't it kind of ironic that I did a video about storytelling and yet the story in this video is just mediocre at best? We'll get better as time goes on.